Welcome into Texans Today, everybody. I'm your host, Jeremy Chuggs, and coming up on today's program, instant reaction analysis from today's game from Texans, Steelers. Great preseason matchup. Got to see the ones, even though it was only for a drive, maybe 2 drives. Got to see some actual Texans action. Got to see a lot of highlight plays. We'll break it down on today's video. But first, here are the notable injuries. The guys who were not on the field to start today's game. Kamari Lassiter dealing with that soft tissue injury in his leg. Still got to kind of worry about that. Look at that as well. Will Anderson Jr. also dealing with an injury. Was told and reported earlier today by Aaron Wilson that not serious injuries, should be coming back, in the next couple of weeks. Christian Harris still dealing with that soft tissue injury. Desmond King did not play. Both tackles, Titus Howard and Laramie Tunsil, are out, both dealing with knee injuries. Joe Mixon dealing with that soft tissue injury, and Tegan Quatoriano, injured, did not play in today's matchup. And it was a close game. Texans ended up winning 20-12. Texans could have pulled away a little bit at the end, and we'll get into that later on. But Davis Mills, 8 of 19, 89 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Did not look as good as he did in that first game up against the Chicago Bears, but was decent, kind of drove the team down the field and led them to that touchdown. Jawar Jordan, 6 carries, 22 yards on the ground for the rookie out of Louisville. Robert Woods, leading receiver, 4 receptions, 42 yards, no touchdowns for him. Kyle Allen, the backup to the backup. I'm just going to say this right now. Looked a lot better than Justin Fields, in my opinion. Kyle Allen went 17 of 23, 193 yards, 1 touchdown, an interception really late for them. Dejon Edwards, 3 carries, 28 yards, and a touchdown for Pittsburgh. And then Calvin Austin III, 2 receptions for 49 yards, no touchdowns. That Steelers offense in the second half was picking it up. Good sign, though. Texans defense in the first quarter up against Justin Fields and, some of the Steelers ones. The Texans defense was locked down in that first corner. I mean, they were really on top of it. I think if the starters played the whole game, I don't think the Steelers scored double digits in this game. So the starters on defense looked fantastic for the Houston Texans. Offense looked good in the beginning. C.J. Stroud connected with Tank Dell on that touchdown in the first quarter. It was absolutely electric, and some really good highlight plays from a couple other Texans as well during this game. Cam Akers looked really well on the offensive side of the football. Robert Woods made some plays as well. So this team really looking good. The depth in a couple areas looking good as well. I want to hear from you. Who was the best player for the Texans from today's game? Who do you think it is? Let me know down in the comment section. To be honest, I think it might have been Tank Dell. I think Tank Dell might have been the best player, and he only played 1 drive. So really, he had 1 reception for 34 yards and a touchdown on his 1 target. So, obviously made the most of his opportunity. He also had a 22-yard punt return where former Texan Cam Johnston, I'm looking at you right now. Cam Johnston, that was a cheap shot. That was a cheap shot. Tank Dell ran out of bounds, and you decided to try to blow him up on the sideline. Tank Dell, he's a real one. He didn't get in your face too much for that, but I saw you being a little punk there on the side, Cam Johnston. Don't think I forgot about that. C.J. Stroud got a little bit of work in. The first drive was a 3 and out, and then the second drive, short field, ended up finding Tank Dell for the touchdown. So short day for C.J. Stroud. Only 4 attempts, 2 completions on the day, 1 to Cade Stover, 1 to Tank Dell. So it was a short day for Stroud, but a very effective day. 2 for 4 and a touchdown. Can't get mad at that as much. Davis Mills also played pretty decently. 8 for 13, 89 yards. 2 sacks for 17 yards. Kept the ball safe, though. No interceptions for Davis Mills on today's game. Jawar Jordan got a little bit of a run. Really didn't see that much of him against the Bears. It kind of sucked because, obviously, the rain out at the end of the third quarter. Really, we didn't get to see guys like Jawar Jordan play in that first preseason game. Played a little bit today. Looked decent. 6 carries, 22 yards, a long of 10 yards. Cam Akers, even though the carries don't look amazing, 6 carries for 17 yards, a long of 5. Not anything to write home to mama about. Him on the receiving end, very good. 3 receptions on 3 targets, 24 yards for Cam Akers. And I said it during our live show, our live watch party in If you didn't join us, make sure you do next time. Make sure you hit that sub button and join us for our next live watch party. But Cam Akers could end up being one of those sneaky signings where we go, wow, this Texans team really got a steal with Cam Akers. He looked really, really good in this preseason matchup up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. As we look at the numbers as a total for the Texans offense, 255 yards, 4.2 yards per play. Obviously, they're not going to bring out a lot of creativity. They're just running a very vanilla offense, just kind of seeing what guys can do at a base level. So obviously, it's not going to be anything crazy on the stat sheet. Passing, 19 for 31, 175 yards as a team. Rushing, 27 carries for 80 yards. No turnovers. Very good. In a preseason game, when you have a lot of backups and when you have depth guys in, you usually see them turn over the ball. Not for the Texans. No turnovers on the day. And about equal time of possession, 28.28 out of 60 minutes for the Houston Texans. The Steelers, on the other hand, maybe had a little bit more yards, 344 passing, or 344 total yards, 235 passing, 109 on the ground. Decent numbers there, but turnovers. And this is lucky. They had one interception at the end of the game, one fumble on the punt from Quez Watkins. He dropped the punt from Tommy Townsend. But they had two early fumbles from Justin Fields that could have easily been recovered by the Houston Texans. Luckily, they were able to jump on those fumbles, but it could have easily been 4 turnovers for the Texans on the day up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll break down some more about the game in just a moment, but I need you to check out our amazing sponsor. And the reason we're able to do this show right now, Game Time, my go-to ticketing app, and it should be your go-to ticketing app. Where are my baseball fans at? The Astros, currently in first place, beat the Red Sox tonight. Suck it, Jack. You can get tickets to Astros games, sporting events, and more with our sponsor, Game Time. You can get great deals on last-second tickets and even see your seat view before you even buy the tickets. All-in prices show you what you pay without hidden fees or expenses, and Game Time has zone deals. You pick the section, Game Time picks the seats for an average savings of 18%. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. You can get tickets to Astros games and watch them absolutely demolish the Boston Red Sox every single time they play with our sponsor, Game Time. Kyle Allen had himself a pretty decent game. Had the one interception late, a little bit of an overthrow where last year's 7th-round pick Brandon Hill out of Pittsburgh, funny enough, got the interception on him. But he made a really good game. A couple really nice plays from Kyle Allen. One sack, should have been more. He let go of the ball a couple times, made a couple plays with his feet, and looked really good. Can't say the same about Justin Fields. He went 5 for 6, 67 yards, no interceptions, had 2 sacks, though, on the day. One of the sacks from Danielle Hunter, and 2 fumbled snaps under center. You can't do that. You're trying to be the starting quarterback, trying to, at least make it somewhat of a battle between you and Russell Wilson, who, side note, me and producer Trace talked about this early in the game. Russell Wilson continues to be the biggest cornball in the NFL. He completely suited up, yeah, he did it for the selfies. Completely suited up, had the helmet on and everything when he knows he wasn't going to play. So Russell Wilson, once again, proving why he is the biggest cornball in the NFL. Not necessarily a bad thing, but definitely a cornball. Definitely a cornball. But like I said, Justin Fields, Davis Mills, I think, is a better backup than Justin Fields. And I think if a team needs a quarterback and there's a trade market for a quarterback, I don't think it's going to be Justin Fields who's on the trade block. I think it could very well be a guy like Davis Mills. We're getting close to 16,000 subscribers. Gained a bunch from our watch party today. If you have not already, make sure you go down and hit that sub button for free daily Texans content all year long. We're going to be having more watch parties, more giveaways, a ton more fun throughout the year, interactive and informative all season long. So great job by the Texans today. And if you weren't there for it, if you weren't in our live chat, well, you missed out. Make sure you hit that sub button and join us next time. Danielle Hunter, looked fantastic. Only played a couple of drives, 2 tackles, a sack, 1 tackle for loss, 3 quarterback hits from the huge free agent addition from the Houston Texans. Absolutely great job by Danielle Hunter. And this defense, like I said, looked incredible. I mean, the Texans defense in the first half where the starters were playing, absolutely fantastic. I said this at the beginning of the video. I really do think if the Texans starters were in the whole game, I don't think the Steelers score more than 10 points. And this is actually a really good question by our producer, Trace. Who is better versus Pittsburgh? Do you think it was the offense or do you think it was the defense? Let me know down in the comments section. Do you think the offense played better or do you think the defense played better? I would say the defense. The offense maybe, squandered some possessions. Obviously, you got a lot of backups in, but at the same time, the defense played very, very well. Also had a huge stop, a huge 4th down stop at the 2-yard line. Really, really had a very good goal line stand there in the first half. I'm going with the defense. What say you, though? Let me know who was better. What side of the ball? Offense or defense? As always, you can find me on Twitter at Jeremy Chugs. Our new Texans Today IG page, Texans Today, or at Texans Today CS. And if you haven't subbed already, you made it to the end of the video, why not hit that sub button and join the fastest growing Texans channel on YouTube? For good reason. We bring you daily content all year long, a fun and informative channel. So if you're not subbed, I don't know what else to tell you because you just might not like fun.